Howdy Fluffbutts, it's me, FaolanCortez Colt, and today I have got a rather interesting...
Nope, you did this to me, I'm doing it to you. Today we are gonna play Sorting Hat and sort G5 characters into Hogwarts Houses.
Well, okay. I never knew you were also a Potterhead too, Doc. You know, if I had to sort you myself, I would say that you are a Ravenclaw, mainly because of how you organize your own YouTube channel, and you're always doing reviews and stuff, and your clever brain as well. Ha!
That's a fair decision. And I'm glad to show my expanded nerdery once more. I'm a nerd of way too many things to not combine Pony with other franchises. You are actually difficult to sort though. The first vibe I get is a Hufflepuff. You show a lot of dedication and hard work for your regular reactions, as well as a giant amount of loyalty to G5.
Aw, well that was a surprise. Thank you, Doc. Nonetheless, Fluffbutts, both of us being big fans of Harry Potter and G5 of My Little Pony, we are about to sort a total of 27 characters into the 4 Hogwarts houses, with them being Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. It's fairly obvious that some characters may have traits that could place them into multiple houses, so we will be boiling each one down to how many traits they've manifested in the 2 shows. So, how's about we begin?
Excellent.
First of all, if you're unfamiliar with the qualities that each house represents, let's have a quick rundown of them all.
For Gryffindor, their main values are bravery, daring, nerve, and chivalry.
For Hufflepuff, they value loyalty, hard work, patience, fairness, and dedication.
For Ravenclaw, they value their smarts, as in intelligence, knowledge, curiosity, creativity, and wit.
For Slytherin, they value leadership, ambition, self-preservation, resourcefulness, and pride. Now that you're all caught up on what each house defines, let's get this sorting ceremony underway. Sunny Starscout. Sunny Starscout is pretty much a given. Like many other protagonists, she is going into Gryffindor. The main character energy is born in that house, considering she has a chivalrous spirit and the bravery for it. Sunny was never afraid to stand up for and solidly stick by her morals in a new generation, even if it meant she would have no more friends or possibly be imprisoned afterwards. Sunny holds a strong nerve when it comes to facing danger in terrifying situations. She's always dared to journey further around the world, learning more about Equestria and risking her own life multiple times by jumping into the fray to save her friends. Sunny confronted Opaline several times and her face never displayed a hint of horror, and it was her mission to take her down first, putting her determination in the limelight by never faltering or backing down. Sunny also possesses the curiosity of a Ravenclaw too, ever since her explorative role in the movie. However, her courage and bold protection of her loved ones are her superior traits, therefore making Sunny a respectful Gryffindor with the scarlet and gold.
Izzy Moonbow. Izzy is immediately a Ravenclaw. Where she doesn't have the classic intelligence that most of them are known for, she fits well for many other traits that Ravenclaws are known for, mainly creativity. She shows that in basically every single appearance. She invented unicycling, which is basically the creative reuse of something that isn't needed anymore. It's creativity incarnate. The curiosity trait fits incredibly well too. She is this generation's version of Pinkie Pie. She's not the same, but similar enough to compare. Pinkie Pie as well as Silverstream are both reasons why I would put her there. I call Silverstream the element of curiosity for a reason. Same as her, Izzy wants to explore. She wants to see new things. It's how a new generation starts. Izzy being curious about other tribes, and goes out to explore. So Izzy fits perfectly into the curious house. Not to mention that she can be really smart out of nowhere, and we need to appreciate that more, just as much as her quirky behavior, which is reminiscent of Luna Lovegood. I mean, just look at how both of them act towards their superstitions.
We unicorns think it's kind of jinxy to sing or make any loud noises during the Lumabloom because of the Truggles.
What an interesting necklace.
It's a charm, actually. Keeps away the narvals.
Hitch Trailblazer. Hitch Trailblazer would undoubtedly be placed into Hufflepuff, and I believe he is the perfect subject for that house. He embodies all of the traits to a T. Being Maritime Bay's only employed sheriff, Hitch takes his job very seriously, with plenty of hard work on his hooves to keep his town safe and sound from disarray and mischief. Not to mention, he occasionally brings up being the sheriff, which provides a slice of dedication to his occupation, no matter how jolly or ruffled this makes the citizens. We can't forget the level of patience he has, having to deal with all of the critters and Sparky's playful disobedience daily, and and all of that never managing to upset him.
When every pony gets a turn, we got a rule for that. Things are much better when we all work together, got a rule for that.
It may be overlooked, but Hitch's loyalty is unmatched in how it evolved from upholding Phyllis's corrupt beliefs in A New Generation to jumping in front of Sander and Diggy, sacrificing his cutie mark to buy his friends extra time in Roots of All Evil. Being placed in Hufflepuff, Hitch Trailblazer may very well be considered the pony version of Cedric Diggory. Perfect mane, shredded abs, and modest.
Zipp Storm. When discussing this concept, I felt like many characters would be very obvious, but Zipp is the first one where it wasn't. She seems like a Gryffindor. Her bravery and daring put her there easily, but it wasn't a complete no-brainer, because she also has the wit and intelligence of a Ravenclaw. Her investigation prowess and instinct especially would have made her fit for Ravenclaw. What ultimately makes her a Gryffindor for me is her main character energy. Throughout the first few chapters, she was definitely the main character, leading the charge to find out more about Twilight's message and what it all means. She jumps headfirst into danger, and as this generation's element of loyalty, we can also connect her chivalrous spirit with her. Of course, her position as a princess fits there too. She may not want to be a queen, but she would do anything for her subjects. She is a Gryffindor with the intelligence of a Ravenclaw. Not quite a head stall between those houses, but pretty close.
Pipp Petals. This might shock some of you, but hear me out for what I'm about to say. Pipp Petals is going into Slytherin. Okay, I am not claiming her to be antagonistic, but her influential online ambitions and how she mainly values resourcefulness for her career makes Pipp such a surprising fit for the green and silver. For one, her self-preservation shows itself strongly in multiple episodes where she would rather think of the advantages for her status rather than for every pony else's benefit. Sense of adventure, Pipsqueaks Forever, Bridalwood Stock, and even the movie are prime examples of her instinctive behavior. Pipp also shows great leadership skills, taking charge of even the most desperate circumstances, which is some fantastic character building. Not to forget her pride in always staying on top of the social media game and overachieving any pony that could surpass her, no matter what stood in her way, using anything to her needs. It's inarguable that sometimes Pipp paid more attention to her reputation rather than her sister's demands or her friend's genuine advice. Of course, Pipp is not one of the typical Slytherins that turned out evil, but she broke that stereotype and became some pony you could easily connect with, plus idolize. Take a character like Horace Slughorn, for example.
Please don't think I'm prejudiced. No. Your mother was one of my absolute favourites. Look, there she is. Right at the front.
You're free to disagree with me, but personally, Pipp makes a good Slytherin through and through.
Misty Brightdawn. Misty is more obvious again. She's a Hufflepuff. She has a very soft personality that wouldn't fit in any other house. I could have seen her Slytherin because she used to be a villain, but she never really wanted to be.
I have friends! You have to force others to pretend to be your friends, like me!
She has the intelligence for a Ravenclaw. With her displayed studiousness in the episodes focused on her recently, she is dedicated towards her newfound magic talent. But this dedication and hard work is putting her in Hufflepuff again. The deciding factor was fair play though. It's symbolizing her change of heart, and the butterfly-like development. From beginning on we saw that she was conflicted. If that isn't an innate sense for fair play, then I don't know what is. A sweet character places her in Hufflepuff.
Sprout Cloverleaf. Sprout Cloverleaf is the most predictable sorting. He is a solid Slytherin. From his first appearance in A New Generation, Sprout defines all the traits of the house. Becoming the sheriff of Maritime Bay is what he wished for growing up, including his desire for power and to further spread his genocidal propaganda across the town. That's just huge levels of ambition for many years. Even when Hitch became the sheriff, he was resourceful enough to sneak into that position without approval, despite being egged on by his mother. There's no doubt that Sprout was a terrible leader, but his leadership skills are remarkable in that he was able to convince every pony into a brainwashed state of mind to join him in his battle against the pony tribes. After all of the havoc that Sprout caused, he was able to slip out of any form of major punishment and only earn time in community service. That's incredibly cunning if you ask me. His behavior in the episode Top Remodel finally embodies his self-preservation revelation as he attempts to shut down Sunny's plans to renovate the Cantalogic factory, declaring it was his property.
I figured since it was my family business, I should make sure that you don't mess anything up.
Regardless of not doing anything with it. Sprout is a Slytherin at heart, and you can't persuade me otherwise.
Argyle Starshine. Argyle is 100% a Ravenclaw. He has the intelligence to back it up too. He has traits of Gryffindor and Hufflepuff as well, like the daring he shows when standing up to Phyllis, or the patience he needs to raise a kid like Sunny. Now that I think about it, he's also connected to hard work and dedication again, but it feels like everyone who puts a lot into their passion fits with those. But all those get overshadowed by his knowledge. He is a historian after all. Intelligence and knowledge are obvious, but working with maps and doing research about the covered up past is more than just curious. Then we have his witty remarks when talking with Phyllis.
You are brainwashing their minds with all of your nonsense.
I leave all the brainwashing in Maritime Bay to you.
Definitely a Ravenclaw through and through.
Sparky Sparkeroni. Technically, Sparky Sparkeroni can't be sorted into a house being only a baby and not 11 years old. But if there was some leeway for the youngsters, I'd say that Sparky is a Gryffindor. It's merely his recklessness and bravery that puts him into the Lion's House. We can't forget that he was bold enough to step into haunted houses and unknown places happily, and even fly into Opaline's castle before he dared to take down Opaline with his dragon fire. Remember that he was all alone after his comrades became possessed, and ultimately he stood his ground against her and was the pony's ticket to victory. That takes great nerve and spirit. Sparky is destined to be a Gryffindor.
Posey Bloom. Posey had both of us stumped for a while. We just couldn't find anything decisive. My first thought went to Slytherin, due to her ambitions of cunning and racism, in the first special only.
I think some pony's pranking me. Probably one of those unicorns.
But that really doesn't define her, especially later on, even if her confrontational tendencies still fit with Slytherin. Then we have her more recent behavior. She is changing and working on herself. She is dedicated to what she does and loyal to the friends she does make. She didn't start with patience, but she's slowly getting there. So once she overcomes her personal discrimination, she fits into Hufflepuff. That fits with her design too, which is the same as G-Force Fluttershy, who is the most Hufflepuff a Hufflepuff can be.
Girls, stop! Now, is that any way to talk to a friend?
My cola partner here also pointed out that she was never really ambitious. She has a fairly down-to-earth lifestyle. She just gets dedicated once she sets her mind to something, which once again makes her a fitting Hufflepuff.
Alphabittle Blossomforth. Alphabittle was a little tricky, but we decided he'd be best placed in Hufflepuff. He has the wit of a Ravenclaw, but when it comes down to gambling and playing games, it's mainly down to a good indication of his fairness. Alphabittle may occasionally be cocky, but he has never been shown to cheat, even when a possible prize is brought up. His amount of patience is to be admired for how many long years he dedicated himself waiting for his lost daughter Misty to come home. Alphabittle never left Bridlewood for that very reason, even when Queen Haven wished he came to Zephyr Heights to visit.
So the real reason I can't leave Bridlewood is because I need to be here when my filly comes home.
He's also quite hardworking, being the pony in charge of the Crystal Tea Room, and at one point the leader of the unicorns when the pony tribes were separated. He rarely loses his temper either, and he firmly understands what's morally right and wrong. With all things considered, Alphabittle is the Hufflepuff daddy.
Queen Haven. Queen Haven seems like a Ravenclaw to me. She has the vast knowledge of the royal family and the etiquette that she requires Zipp to learn. As a queen, she needs that. And her intelligence is also not bad, even if she has many dumb-looking moments for comedic effect. Hufflepuff would fit too, but mostly because of the hard work she's doing as a queen, and the patience she is showing with the sisters at times, as well as her dedication to the queenly craft. Now that I think about it, loyalty and fair play, as well as dedication fit too. But in the end, I would still put her in Ravenclaw, as the usual wise leader she is. Her curiosity comes to mind later too, when she gets really curious about the other tribes and their cultures, and especially their tea.
Alfie and I were discussing official negotiations. Yeah.
Phyllis Cloverleaf. Just like her son, Phyllis Cloverleaf is also going straight into Slytherin. Yet I'd say that she is one of the more tamer Slytherins. Much like her son, Phyllis was extremely ambitious and shrewd in maintaining order within Maritime Bay for over 20 moons, along with becoming an advocate for deep-rooted prejudice and generalized fear of the other pony tribes. She was resourceful too in making sure her ignorant beliefs and inventions were sold to a demanding population for her own monetary gain, which also shows off the self-preservation trait. Phyllis also holds a certain pride, mostly towards her son, and continuously supports him no matter what he does, until it inevitably reaches the breaking point and she displays her determination in the face of danger when it comes to stopping an uncontrollable sprout.
Let's put the toy away!
Mommy, please, I'm in the middle of something!
You come down from there right now!
Not to mention Phyllis's cunningness in being able to avoid persecutions, even more so than her son was subjected to. It's undoubtful that Phyllis is another perfect fit for Slytherin, and truthfully, I love her in the green and silver.
Grandma Figgy. Grandma Figgy is the kindest being in G5. She just has to be a Hufflepuff, and honestly, that would already be enough reasoning. But I'll indulge you for a bit longer. She's the stereotypical grandma, showing a ton of patience with Hitch, as well as with Sparky. She's loyal to her family and her wisdom is impeccable. Now wisdom would qualify her for Ravenclaw, but her kindness outweighs this trait of hers for me.
Jazz Hooves. Purely because of her significant creativity, Jazz Hooves would fit nicely in Ravenclaw. Her occupation in the main melody being a manicurist requires her full attention, and she's always shown in her imaginative element. Plus, she's got the intelligence to regularly understand her customers' requirements, and she leaves them happy with her service.
Jazz, how did you know? Dribbleberry is totally my favorite. Yay!
Jazz may have some confidence issues whenever she is out of hoof polish designs, but she exhibits her acceptance with possible difficulty. Yet her need to always learn more is evident in her levels of wisdom regarding her specific field. Like her vibrant blue fur coat, Jazz Hooves would proudly deem the blue and bronze of Ravenclaw.
Rocky Riff. Just like his girlfriend, he is a creative spirit. Perfect for Ravenclaw. A couple for the ages. Even their houses align perfectly. It's kind of obvious given their work in main melody, where he is responsible to give people hairstyles like the world has never seen before.
We can do every look from the traditional to the cutting edge. Bobs, layers, beach waves, braids, just name it.
He understands what people like and can follow instructions of the customers, showing intelligence to do his job right, but adds creativity if needed. Curiosity can be seen when he tries new things for his own style and for his clients. I don't see much actual wisdom, but some of his fun lines show some decent wit, making him well suited to complete the Ravenclaw couple.
Allura. Like all typical villains of any media, Allura is a Slytherin. Purely based on what we've seen so far, Allura is very self-preserving. Like the house's serpent, she is ambitious and resourceful when she attempts to steal the one star that'll provide a passage to another realm in Secrets of Starlight, even putting innocents under her control to do all of the work, hence a corrupted way of leadership similar to Opaline. Allura was also prideful in herself by underestimating Sunny and her friends, stooping down to the point of calling alicorns cute as well.
An alicorn? How cute.
She's not above threatening others to achieve her ends, and she's also cunning enough to always avoid detection by every pony when she finally arrives in Equestria. No need to explain Twitch though, as he is the exact same as his mistress. Allura is a clear fit for being a Slytherin.
Opaline Arcana. I already know what you want me to say, but no, I will not say that evil hot fire mummy fits perfectly into Slytherin, for obvious reasons. But no, I will not. Instead, I will calmly explain. Opaline shows all the qualities of a Slytherin. Incredibly strong, ambition to become the strongest being in the verse. She shows leadership qualities when commanding the Legion of Dragons, even if it was mind-controlled. Self-preservation is a very selfish character aspect, and while she didn't really need it in her arrogance, she would 100% put her own life over everything else. She is cunning too, even if a big chunk of the fandom would disagree, since she often seems to be of little intelligence, but that is mostly used for comedic effect. When it counts, she can really think of a good plan and deceive, as evident with the manipulation she put Misty through.
And you won't be enough, Misty! Not until you can prove that you're actually useful and get that dragon!
Resourcefulness is a bit debatable again, but her way to adapt when her plan to get the Unity Crystals failed has some of that in my opinion. She had a backup plan, she knew what she was doing, and she has shown it, despite her goofy side, which honestly just makes her feel more like an actual person. For now, she gets sent into Slytherin. The hat honestly didn't even need to touch her. Her fiery aura made him decide within a second of getting close to her.
Slytherin! Windy. Windy was such a difficult choice to sort that both of us called her a headstool. Windy was vastly equal between the two houses, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, as she embodies most characteristics of the pair. Windy's devotion and loyalty to her friends, specifically Posey, is to be noted. Her evolution from being a timid Pegasi into becoming a scout leader displays a slice of intelligence and a knack to learn more, therefore turning into a pony many could rely on for Windy's wisdom. Although Windy is known for being hardworking and respectful of every pony she meets and remains just. Not to forget her huge levels of patience making friends with someone like Posey. However, the one trait that separates Windy from both houses is her creativity, which is hilariously expressed in her armchair disguise and her wacky methods of getting rid of the unruly hair monsters.
I'm the critic! You probably didn't notice me thanks to my incredible disguise that's a theater chair!
So, at the end of that headstool, Windy is ultimately going to be placed into Ravenclaw.
Rufus. Honestly, I barely have anything for Rufus. Faolan suggested Slytherin, and I can see it. His magic needs some cunning and deception to work well when showing off to people. Resourcefulness is also necessary to properly use close-up magic capabilities. Resourcefulness in a different sense at least. That's one way to describe what you have when learning different ways to distract your target. Along with the magic comes also pride in your own abilities and work. He is a magician. He is a showman. Pride fits well with that. Leadership is another Slytherin quality, and while he hasn't shown it much, he is a security worker and has to lead his troop properly. It's far-fetched, but it's fitting.
Onyx. Like Izzy Moonbow being compared to Luna Lovegood, Onyx is like a much weirder version of Xenophenius Lovegood from the series, so Onyx personally is in Ravenclaw. Despite not receiving much screen time, her appearances are always mystifying. Her eccentric attitude and enticing way with words are reminiscent of another level of wisdom and wit. Whenever Onyx is given a main role, her unparalleled imagination with her immersive poems and explanations that we've seen in Winter Wish Day and Father of the Bridalwood makes her probably the most mentally creative.
I am overwhelmed with emotion. It was a commentary on the loss of identity. She also could have been saying something about umbrellas.
As I just said, like Xenophenius Lovegood, she is quirky, positively bizarre, and never distant from any pony in Bridalwood. Onyx will likely hang the blue and bronze of a Ravenclaw.
Comet. For Comet, we considered both Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. His kindness would make him a good Hufflepuff, but I think his curious mind wins here. He travels to Maritime Bay with the others to satisfy his curiosity, and recently, we saw his creativity when improving Sunny's smoothie cart. He had new ideas for smoothies, as well as a smart way to produce them.
What's that doing here? Over here, and then, of course. Now this is fun!
He is very similar to Izzy, who is definitely a Ravenclaw, so giving him the same treatment is just right. To this adds a similarity to Sunburst, who is a magic master with a vast amount of knowledge. While Comet isn't quite there yet, he is intelligent enough to amass more knowledge to satisfy his curious Ravenclaw mind.
Violet Frost. Being the leader of the Auroricorns in Starlight Ridge, Violet Frost is seriously fitting in the House of Gryffindor. She was brave enough to stand up to Allura multiple times, even when she was shown as the only one to resist while every pony else submitted, which would make Violet quite daring too when she's confronted with evil face to face. She's also defined plenty of chivalry and nerve to be the first one to welcome the main six into her village when every pony else was too scared. When it came to fooling Allura with a fake star, credit has to be given to Violet's courage in pretending to be under her spell. Not to forget that when Allura was defeated and Starlight Ridge needed a new leader, Violet was enthusiastic about taking up the position with confidence.
Me? You've proven to be an incredible leader today.
Violet Frost! Violet Frost! Violet Frost! Violet Frost!
Violet Frost may be frosty, but she has a heart of fire and the soul of a lion, suited to a Gryffindor.
Spike the Dragon. Faolan suggested Ravenclaw for Spike, but my first thought was Gryffindor, for his supposed bravery. He is also often portrayed as the discount element of loyalty, which would make him a Hufflepuff in this, though he seems allergic to hard work.
You lost magic? All by yourselves? Oh, I'm going back to sleep.
I would go with Gryffindor in the end, because loyalty and bravery are connected in MLP, given that Flash Magnus, the previous element of loyalty, was representing bravery. Honestly, that could just be because I don't want to put Spike in the smart house. I would also give him quite a chivalrous spirit, given that he has fantasies about being a knight in shining armor. Back in G4 he was too scared to actually act like it, but after centuries of growing up, he has become what he wanted to be. A main character who is brave and chivalrous towards the dragons he leads.
Blaize Skysong. Blaize Skysong was another conflicting decision, as we thought her to be good in two houses, Slytherin and Hufflepuff. However, after much discussion, we settled on sorting Blaize into Hufflepuff. She may be the most hot-tempered and least patient dragon of the bunch, but her main trait of loyalty is her strongest characteristic. Blaize maintained a continuous amount of respect and admiration towards Spike when he became the Dragon Lord, obeying almost everything he proposed to the cause of bringing down Opaline. She has the dedication and hard work to pull it off, despite some unsureness at first.
So we should just give up instead, Blaize? Forget about our friends? Let evil win?
Maybe?
Blaize also has a nice sense of fair play after showing trust to the ponies after the grand battle. It's most noticeable in the Blocky Walkie special when she gives Izzy a trust exercise and catches her from falling out of the air. If that doesn't show how principled Blaize truly is, nothing else will. So Blaize would undoubtedly be adorned in the yellow and black of Hufflepuff.
Dahlia. Dahlia was another one I wasn't sure at first. None of the houses fit particularly well, but then I remembered the Hufflepuff's affinity for plants, or herbology as it's called in the Harry Potter universe, and her newly found magic makes her fit well there. This is mostly because the other houses don't really fit though. Slytherin is out because she never really had any evil intentions. She doesn't seem smart enough for Ravenclaw, and I don't see her as a particularly brave character for Gryffindor, so Hufflepuff would be the one left over. Before she got her magic, she was a hard worker for her flowers.
Flowers! Homegrown flowers!
And as plants are, they need hard work and dedication to grow, so in the end, she fits well into Hufflepuff.
Eggmund Bunny. I couldn't possibly leave out my favourite bunny dad. I believe Eggmund Bunny to be a Hufflepuff, mainly because of his kindness and patience. I mean, having to raise, care for, feed and love 16 to hundreds of baby bunnies all by himself is colossally patient.
Sorry, but I'm too exhausted. Do you know how hard it is looking after 16 baby bunnies all on your own?
Being the Royal Extravaganza mascot requires hard work and dedication to make it fun and engaging for every pony every year. Eggmund also displayed his affinity for fair play in his gift giving, so the holiday celebrations remain interesting and special for those who wish to play along. He is fair to every pony he meets and never lets his stress be publicly shown. Eggmund Bunny indeed is a gimmicky holiday character, but he is perhaps one of the most self-restrained and gentle Hufflepuffs in G5. And there you have it, Fluffbutts, 27 major characters from Generation 5 sorted into the Hogwarts Houses in our opinion. A huge thank you goes to Doc Anubis for collaborating with me again.
I thought this would be too simple for a video, but some of the thought that went into it in the end surprised me. Thank you for collabing with me again, on your channel this time.
What about you, Fluffbutts? Do you agree with our house choices, or do you have differing houses for a specific character? Do tell us more and discuss all about it in the comments below. Don't forget to hoof smash that like button down below and subscribe to our channels for more kind of content like this coming soon. And also don't forget to leave a pledge on my Patreon page down in the description below so you can help support me in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye! And just before this video ends, I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons on my Patreon. My Silver Fluffbutt patrons, Sabrina Wade and Alex Smith, and all my Gold Fluffbud patrons: Jack Leichter, Drew Lazinski, Clear Heart Apple, Owen Wildish, Jonathan Chapper, Darth Siler 22, and KikiBat VA. All of your love and support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.